This rig has won just as much money over the past few years as the minnow bait when it comes to professional tournament fishing. But you don't need forward-facing sonar to absolutely whack them on it. And let me show you when this bait shines. What rig am I talking about? I am talking about a Neko rig, and you geeks know I am a huge fan of the Neko rig. Now, again, forward-facing sonar has played a huge role in the Neko rig and how guys are using it on the pro circuit. But I know most of you know already that the Neko rig has been a dominant way to fish a worm for quite a while. And let me tell you, I've got a brand new worm from Bass Reaper that I want to show you some of the features of this design. This is called the Icicle. It's really designed to be a drop shot bait, but man, I have been using it on a Neko rig for a minute, and it's pretty damn incredible. Now, the Icicle from Bass Reaper, and Bass Reaper is a small bait company, one of those small bait companies that I love to support. Great guys, we've met them years and years ago, and they make some really uniquely designed baits. And this is one of their new additions. And what really makes this bait special is the design. So we've got a flat side on the bottom side, and this, again, bait was really made to be a drop shot worm. But it shines in so many different facets and rigs. On the back side, the worm actually narrows just past halfway. So you really get this unusual action out of it. It's got a flat side and a nice narrow back side. Then we come to the spade tail. The spade tail is wide and it's got a divot in it, like a little pothole. So you get some really unique wiggle action out of this bait. So on a drop shot, you've got a really great tail action, but on a Neko, you've got an incredible drop action as it falls and tail paddle action because of the little divot in the wide flat tail. Love small companies that have big new designs. And this from Bass Reaper, the Icicle, is one of them. And because the bass are feeding on some shad today, and I'm going to show you a unique retrieve with this, we're going to use the Goby-licious. Got a little bit of white, got a little bit of watermelon on the back side, but this is a good color when the water dirties up, even if you don't have gobies. Another great color this time of year, Moon Shadow. Killer little color, especially if you're around smallmouth. This is 420. You always got to have some green pumpkin. This is Passion Pumpkin. And don't worry, if you want to drop shot them, they've got the Morning Magic. And whether it be a drop shot, a Neko rig, or my favorite on a shaky head for this color, don't underestimate a black worm. And the last but not least color that I picked up, one of my favorite spring colors to use, this is a green pumpkin orange, but they call it Dirt Nap. So real quick, let's go over the rigging. Now, hey geeks, listen, I'm not sponsored by this company at all. There's links to this down in the description. There's some tools out on Tackle Warehouse. Hey, great companies make them, but they're very expensive. The Neko rig pliers. I found these on Amazon, and they come literally with the pliers and 3 sizes. So you can go large, medium, small. And I don't remember what I paid for them. I want to say it was like $12 to $15 for the whole kit. I'll put links down in the description. Again, not sponsored by this company, but I thought this was a steal. I actually picked up 2 of them just in case this little tool breaks on me. So we're going to be using the small version of this. And what I love about this, A, it's clear. B, if you want a wacky rig, you can actually come through this because it's plastic. So you can turn the rig sideways like we're going to rig it today, or you can come right through this and it will save your worms. So what we're going to do first, we're going to put our O-ring on here. Now we're gonna just barely open it, stick our worm in from the back side. Now something you wanna remember, if you want the tail to have more action, put the O-ring lower on the worm. If you want less action, say you're in clear water or the bass are real finicky, put the O-ring higher on the worm. The lake's dirtied up just a little bit today, so we're gonna put it down just below halfway. Now we're gonna slide the O-ring off. Now we're gonna use a tungsten nail weight today, and we're just gonna insert it straight into the head. Once we insert it straight into the head, then we take the hook and we just hook it beneath the O-ring. And there you have a Neko rig. Now something else you can do if it's a little dirtier is you can actually use one of these, or where it actually screws up in there, or you can use one that pushes up in there. It's got a nail weight on it. But what it does is it hangs out, and as you tick it on the bottom, you get a little extra sound. That helps out in dirtier water. And the hooks we're using today are the Pro X. This is the size 2 wacky Neko rig hooks. Geeks, I tell you this all the time, and again, for you geeks that are going to be upgrading your electronics, you need to go check out the Ionic lithium batteries. I've got my whole boat powered with it. It's a whole boat system. It is incredible. This is our 3rd winter. We've not had the first problem, and this boat does not sit in a heated garage, so it's cold where it's at. We have not had the first problem with the charger, with the batteries, and one of our favorite batteries is the 16 volt that we use to run our forward facing sonar. Now what's great about it is it's a compact size, so you can actually use it on a kayak or a tin boat. It actually fits in your rod locker, and it comes with its own charger. So go check it out. I got one of the best codes out there, Hank 10 right here. Go check them out. So the rod I'm going to be using today is the Douglas ERA the Era. I love this rod. Love the Battleship Gray on it. This is a 6'10", medium, fast action. And this rod, what I love about it is $100, $99.99, and we got a 10% off discount. Great cork handles, great rods. I use the flipping version or the jig version all the time for my casting jigs. We loaded the boat last year using these. Great rods again. Got it coupled with the Akuma ITX. Now they have updated this, and great little reel too. And with that, we've also got K9's casting braid on here. Got 10-pound test high vis yellow to 8-pound test Pro 100 100% fluorocarbon. Now 2 ways now that you can get and try the K9 braid. I tell everybody all the time, best casting braid on the market, or the 100% fluorocarbon. You can actually use this discount 10%, or you can go to Tackle Warehouse. As far as the Tackle Warehouse stuff goes, K9 is in Tackle Warehouse now. We don't do memberships. We don't like to charge you geeks for any of the information that we put out there. So if you want to support us, make sure you go down in the description and you bookmark that Tackle Warehouse link, or scan that QR code and bookmark it on your phone or your tablet. We appreciate that. It's the best way to support us. It doesn't cost you an extra dime. So when it comes to fishing this, there's a lot of different ways that you can fish it. What's great about fishing a Neko rig is that it's kind of a hybrid. I always say if a shaky head and a wacky rig mated, the Neko rig was born. The thing that I love about the Bass Reaper Icicle, again, is that tail. The special design tail really gives it a little extra action. And that little bit of extra action will get you a lot of extra bites. I'm telling you, you are not going to believe the action of this little bait. Now, let's talk about time of year and location. So we're here in early March. We're out on the lake and we have fished pretty much the first half of the day. And what we discovered is that we're the day after a full moon. We're in the middle of a warm-up period. And so what's happened is we're finding these bass in the middle of channel swings. They've not moved all the way up into the flats, onto the shallows, but they're beginning to move up. The water temp right now was 46 degrees when we got on the lake today. Now, everything we caught was 25 feet or less, some in 10. And that was the target area for us today. And the reason why the full moon is really important this time of year is because on clear lakes, on a lot of lakes to be honest with you, when you get a full moon, those bass tend to feed up at night, especially if it's warmer nights. Our nights were 50 degree plus last night and for the next few nights. So what happens is when you first get here in the morning, you can throw those moving baits, you can throw those crankbaits and that sort of stuff, those shad imitating moving baits. But then the bite tends to die a few hours after getting into the morning. So what you need to do then is pull this out. Now, don't think about this just as a bottom bouncing bait or a wacky rig. You guys, you want to throw something, a lot of these guys, when they throw this, they'll throw it to open water bass too. So not just minnow baits, even if they have forward facing sonar. But today, where we were finding the bass on some bluff walls, on some channel swings, on some main lake points heading back into creeks, when the moving bait bite died down, this is what scored us some big bites. When they get in that mood, that shutdown mood, remember what I said about adjusting the O-ring up and down to adjust the amount of action on the tail. You don't want to move this bait a whole lot when they're in that sort of negative mood. They're not in that feeding frenzy mood. You want to just give it a few little twitches and let it fall. Be patient. Give it a few little twitches and let it fall. The areas that you caught bass in the morning when they had the feed bags tied on are the areas you need to go fish again with this, because those bass are still there. They're just going to be tied to the bottom and not necessarily in a feeding frenzy sort of mode. Now you're using a small hook, you get a hold of some of these big pre-spawn bass in the early spring, better make sure your drag's set right. Or if you're like me, you know how to back reel, don't do that. Make sure your drag's set right, okay? I'm 100 years old. It's just what I do. Make sure you take your time, fight the bass, get them to the boat, either get the net out, which, hey, we put a new net in the boat today, or get down there, get them on that thumb. Be very careful. Even though it's a single hook, those are some light wire hooks. Don't bend out very easy, but don't horse them. Be patient, be calm, keep your rod tip down in case they jump, and you'll be okay. Hey geeks, make sure you go check out Bass Reaper Baits. Listen, small mom and pop company. You know, they work all the time on putting out some very original baits. These are not, I know a lot of you, and I'm not a big fan of this, copycat baits. They put out very original baits, and they put a lot of work into them. So make sure you go check out Bass Reaper Baits. Now, if you want to check out the video that we talked about earlier, make sure you go right here. Otherwise, questions, comments in the comment section below. Like it if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. Make sure you ring that bell. Be part of the 100% Watch Squad. And you geeks rock.